One.
Perhaps they've done that for a reason. Oh, I think we got it. Okay, let me lower this a little bit. I don't want to. Yes.
Anything?
You cut yours off.
Test.
Yeah, but you hear him at home.
Last meeting, she was gonna lease out this part of the house.
Oh, that's right. I'm not sure that we ought to delve into that too much. We might be practicing law up here. Okay, it is. Okay, I'm getting the good nod. All right. It's a little bit after 6 o'clock, so we want to officially call this meeting to order. And I would like, first of all, I guess, to take care of the invocation and the pledge. And I have asked Mr. Phipps if he would please to lead us in the invocation. If we could all please stand and then remain standing.
Lord, thank you, Smith, blessings of the day. Thank you for your goodness, mercy, and love. Lord, thank you for always being there for us. And we pray, Lord, we conduct the business tonight, Lord, that we had a good and godly way. So we thank you for all you do for us. Lord, we pray for those that are abroad, those, Lord, is less fortunate than we. We pray, God, you be near unto them. Be with the lost tonight. And pray, dear God, that they turn and accept you before it's too late. Thank you for your love and goodness and mercy to us. And we give you the praise for it all. In your sweet name. Amen.
Amen. And now if Mr. Lloyd Norris will lead us in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now. Okay, Ms. Flatt, would you please call the roll?
Honorable Mayor Fowler,
Present.
Honorable Vice Mayor Norris, present. Honorable Councilman Bilbrey,
Present.
Honorable Councilwoman Hawkins,
Present.
Honorable Councilman Hill.
Present.
Now I'd ask you to take a look at your package there for a few minutes if you haven't had a chance, and look at the agenda for this evening as well as the minutes of the last meeting. And if there are any corrections, additions that need to be made, please let me know. We have a relatively small agenda for this evening, but we do have a couple of public comment periods. So do I hear a motion to approve the agenda and the minutes?
I make a motion.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, I'll vote. Ms. Flatt, I'll dispense with your role as for me. I'm going to vote yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins,
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
And I think I really combined those two, but I don't think that that's a problem, unless somebody did see something in the minutes. Okay. Old business, I don't see that we have any. Under new business, we do have, again, the item to consider suspending the reading of these ordinances 62-19, 630-19, 631-19, and 632-19. We have dispensed with that previously, and it will be covered on in our agenda for this evening. So I would make the motion that we suspend the somewhat lengthy reading of these ordinances, and I would make a motion to do that. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Now, Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Okay, if you don't recall, item 4 is here for second and final reading, and it is ordinance 629-19, which is to amend our municipal code. And basically, what that is to allow our municipality to add a collection fee to delinquent accounts, which we must have in order to be able to, or to turn these over to a collection agency. And it pretty much mirrors the state law that we have on that. But this one specifically would be to apply to utility accounts, because we're going to come to the next one, which would be court costs and that kind of thing, court litigation fines. So it did pass on first reading, but we have to have a public comment section. So if anyone has any questions or they'd like to comment on this, basically, like I say, it's just adding the collection fee to the accounts that we have to charge. Doesn't affect anybody who pays their bill. All right, I'm not hearing anything. I will go ahead and close that section for public comment, realizing that there was none, and consider approval of the second and final reading, amending of Ordinance 629-19, which amends our municipal code 18-112.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler,
Yes?
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
The next item, number 5, will be opening the floor now for the public comment section on second and final reading of Ordinance 630-19. That is approval of our second and final reading of Ordinance 630-19, which therein adopts Tennessee Code Annotated 40-24-105 for collection of fines, costs, and litigation taxes when we convert a bill to a civil judgment. Now, most of that adds, I think, is really based on court cost and fines that are not paid, those type of things. So if there's anybody who would like now to ask any questions, make a comment about that, please feel free. Okay, we'll close the public comment section, not hearing any, and I would entertain a motion to go ahead and approve the final reading of Ordinance 630-19.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Okay, Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler,
Yes?
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 6 would just be to consider approval on first reading of Ordinance 631-19, which will amend our zoning code to reference special exception and use on appeal to conditional, or to include conditional use, to change references of special exception and use on appeal to be conditional use. And I think if I remember from last month, we had discussed that, and our attorney had advised us to incorporate the longer version, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Does anybody on the council have anything that they're not certain about or would like to ask about? Or we've all, everybody been over it? Okay.
This is just a wording change. This is removing the word special exception and use on appeal, or use permitted on appeal. It's changing the wording to conditional use to match what it actually is.
Well, I'm going to make a motion that we go ahead and make that change, amend the zoning code ordinance 631-19 to change all references of special exception and use on appeal to equate conditional use.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey.
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
All right, item number 7 will also be to consider approval of first reading of ordinance 632-19 to amend the Allgood zoning code to remove multifamily uses and planned residential developments in some districts. And just as a sidebar to that, it would also have to have a public comment period and a second reading before that became approved. So, any discussion? Okay, call for a motion.
I make the motion.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Item 8 on our agenda is consider approval to authorize the mayor in conjunction with the city administrator to negotiate the appropriate lease terms for business development in the old city hall buildings with an annual update and renewal. We have spoken about that in the past meetings about how we would like to develop our old city hall building, and we would like the idea of doing an incubator type business where we would have people come in, and I think we were addressed last month by Mr. Phipps, and this would just allow Mr. Morrison and I to work together to along with our city attorney to come up with the appropriate terms, and of course to be approved with our council. And I meant our legal counsel, Danny, if I didn't make that clear.
Well, I'm glad to help you all with the documents, but of course it's a business decision, Mayor Fowler, for you and Mr. Morrison to negotiate the rent in terms like that. So if you have that, but I think it sounds like an exciting prospect for Allgood.
You all have anything? Okay.
I make a motion.
And I'll
Second.
yep.
Carolyn got it out first. She beat you, Bill. All right. Ms. Black?
Mayor Fowler,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Okay, now I'll turn it over to Mr. Morrison and let him give us what's happening in our city.
Fire hall construction has been completed. The move-in has begun. Of course, the paving and landscaping, we're holding off to warmer weather. I've not got an updated date on that. We are working through the punch list. There were a few items that were very minor. They've completed most of them. A couple things left to do yet. Still some move-in left to do. The Main Street paving project is put on the schedule. April 2nd, we'll begin preliminary work with a projected completion of April 10th. Again, that will start at Burton Branch. It will come through Walmart and Sonic and come down to just this side of Thompson Lane and grind out that section there at Thompson Lane that's kind of rough. It will also grind out the intersection at Elm Street where there's starting to be another dip there for the tile. Will also include excuse me. It will also include new loops at Walmart intersection to improve that intersection. And so we will upgrade that controller and that traffic signal box as well as part of that. Department heads, did you have anything?
Now is the part of our city council meeting that we turn over to anyone that would like to address the council or has a question or concern. If you want, please come to the podium and introduce yourself, and we'll be happy to assist you in any way we can. Okay. I would like to mention one more item before we adjourn. We've had some discussion about what's going to become of the old water tank. Well, there's several probably older water tanks, but the one I think of specifically is the one right over here off of Virginia, and you might say beside or behind the First Tennessee Bank right there on Main Street. No, First National Bank. Oops, sorry about that, Mr. Oakley. If you are interested in this project, because the city is faced with a decision that we're going to have to come to within, roughly we're thinking a year, that we have estimates to tear it down, we have estimates to have it painted. Now, what we are asking for is all the public input, public comment. We want this to be an open participation. And so I have asked that we could hold a town hall meeting of sorts where everybody will be treated with respect, dignity, courtesy, just like we have here in the council meetings, but it will be different in that, you know, it won't be as formal. I'm hoping that you'll be freer to express your opinion, give us ideas. Those are the type of things that we're looking for. And we will have a proposition to present to you at that time about things that we foresee could happen with the water tower. I understand that it's been out of service for about 20 years. Isn't that right, Victor? Okay. And at one time, when it was usable, it held 200,000 gallons of water. But we have since, of course, taken it offline, and we have other water tanks, but that one seems to be the more prominent, the one everybody thinks about when they talk about the iconic skyline, and I guess that's about the only skyline that we have yet so far. But I'd like for everybody, we're just going to meet here. If we spill over, we'll just make sure that everybody has a place and that you can say what you want to say. Now, there'll just be some guidelines because we're not going to talk about this project or that project. We're going to talk about the tank project. But, you know, the tank means a lot to people that aren't even citizens or are not residents of Allgood proper. So if any of you know of anyone who's interested in the tank or interested in the future of it, we're asking you to please get the word out. I think we will have more I think our next meeting is probably after the town hall.
It is. April the 9th will be the next meeting.
Okay. So we'd like to have as much input as we could on the 4th, but please, it's going to start at 6 o'clock. We'll just meet here, and you know, like I said, it'll just be a less formal type situation type meeting, and we will go forward and tell you some of the things that we've been approached about, and if you have ideas, suggestions, we'd all be delighted to hear them, I'm sure. Now we have tentatively given this a timeline of a year. We want to have something decided about the tank in a year. And so I'm going to just leave you with that little tease about you have to come to the April the 4th meeting to find out what that might be. So if you want to know what will or what could or what might happen, please mark that on your calendar. Okay. Does anybody, do you have any other announcements? We already checked with you guys. Okay. Oh, do you have anything else, Mr. Marshall?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
All right. Motion to adjourn without any opposition. All right. Thank you all very much.